Hi everybody! I chose to do my presentation on Annie Leibovitz. She is a portrait photographer best known for photographing some of the most famous celebrities. Her career has spanned over 50 years and she has done some of the most iconic cover photos for very famous magazines. And since I'm drawn to portrait photography, it was really fun to see all the different work that she has done throughout her career. So she's an American photographer. She was born Anna Lou Leibovitz on October 2nd, 1949 in Waterbury, Connecticut. Her family is of Romanian and Estonian Jewish origins. Her father served as a U.S. Air Force pilot while her mother was a dancer. She studied at the San Francisco Art Institute, and initially she set out to become a painter. Her mother loved that medium and she wanted to follow in her footsteps and become an art teacher. But after attending some extra night classes, she soon found her passion in photography and switched career paths. Okay, so after doing some volunteer work in Israel, she returned to the United States and began her career as a staff photographer for Rolling Stone magazine in 1970. And by 1973, she was named chief photographer of Rolling Stone. She held that job for 10 years, and in 1983, she began working for Vanity Fair, and in 1988, she began working for Vogue. During her time working with all these magazines, she created some of the most iconic cover photos. She's best known for her use of bold colors and surprising poses, some of which have gotten her in trouble sometimes. So Annie Leibovitz is the mother of 3 daughters. She had her first daughter, Sarah, at the age of 52, and her younger twin daughters, Susan and Samuel, were born by a surrogate mother in 2005. She was in a 15-year relationship with Susan Sontag from 1989 to 2004 when Susan passed from leukemia. Leibovitz credits a series of photos that she took of Susan as some of her most important work that she looks back at proudly. Neither of the women confirmed the relationship in public, but later, after Susan's passing, when Annie was interviewed for an autobiography, she confirmed that they were partners. So these are some photos of Annie's early work. They were on display in 2019 in a downtown LA exhibition called The Early Years 1970 to 1983, Archive Project Number 1. In the first 4 photos, you can see some images from San Francisco and her time in Israel. Her style was really raw and playful back then, still is. These images were taken with a basic SLR camera and some black and white film. I really enjoy the first set of photos just because you can see the rawness of a new photographer. She hasn't quite found her way into portrait photography yet, but there's just still some beauty and a lot of impact in the images that she's created. So here are some prime examples of her interesting and fun posing that she's choreographed. We have Whoopi Goldberg in a tub of milk. And it's a really interesting and fun portrait. I think it was really choreographed in a way to showcase the funny side of the comedian Whoopi Goldberg. And then we have Meryl Streep for the cover of Rolling Stone. This is a really fun and interesting photo. I think it's a kind of play on how she's an actress and she wears a bunch of different masks that can be taken off. It's a really nice close-up photo for the cover of Vanity Fair. Here's yet another iconic cover photo for Vanity Fair. Demi Moore is pregnant with her second child. This photo was originally supposed to be of Demi in a tight dress, but Leibovitz felt it needed more and had her pose nude. Many retailers said that they would not carry this issue, with Walmart refusing the magazine because of indecency. The issue went on to sell 2 million copies. And then here's an image of Serena Williams many years later in 2017. I just thought it was very interesting how it's almost a recreation of Demi's iconic photos from the 90s. So I just love how Leibovitz is able to get personal with her subjects, like in the last photo shoot with Demi and Williams, and then here again with Caitlyn Jenner as yet another iconic Vanity Fair cover. This was her actual coming out photo to the world, and Leibovitz captured that moment in a very intimate and powerful way. So this is a really fun photo of rapper Kendrick Lamar. Leibovitz has superimposed a portrait onto a portrait, and I think it's a really unique and interesting photo that really captures the introspective personality that Kendrick Lamar has. It's really unique and fun. It's really simple, but it's very powerful and impactful. So here's another really fun and interesting photo. This is of Keith Haring, the New York artist, and the story behind this photo was that he painted the room and then he painted his torso to match the room, but when he came in, he had on these white painter's pants, and I guess they both just kind of looked at each other and knew that he needed to paint the rest of his body. It's really fun. I like the way that Leibovitz was able to create art within art in this photo. It has a really interesting composition with these subjects kind of being camouflaged into the mural. And yet again, we have some more iconic cover photos for Vanity Fair. The first one is of Sylvester Stallone in 1993. He was posing nude in the posture of the Thinker statue. This is another example of Annie's ability to get intimate with her subjects and really portray them in a very artistic way. The next photo is of pop legend Michael Jackson in 1989. This cover was actually voted best Vanity Fair cover by readers, and it's a very great capture of Michael Jackson's iconic dance moves. So this is probably Annie's most famous photo that she has taken to date. This was taken with a Polaroid in December of 1980. It's John Lennon and Yoko Ono for the cover of Rolling Stone. In true Leibovitz form, she had asked them both to get naked, but Yoko Ono wouldn't take off her pants. So Annie asked her to keep everything on and had Lennon curl up to her in the nude. Leibovitz was the last person to professionally photograph Lennon as he was shot and killed 5 hours later. So, being a celebrity photographer, controversy is never far. In 2008, for the Vogue cover, Leibovitz received a lot of criticism for the way she choreographed this photo shoot of LeBron James and Gisele Bündchen. This photo sparked a lot of racial controversy, with critics comparing it to the American war propaganda poster, "Destroy This Mad Brute." It was the first time a black man ever appeared on Vogue, and it was one of the most criticized and controversial images for a magazine cover. In 2007, from humble beginnings to photographing the Queen, Leibovitz was commissioned to take portraits of the Queen when she visited the United States. Leibovitz asked the Queen to remove her tiara because it was too dressy, quote, and the Queen unfortunately did not like that. Footage of the shoot was broadcasted by the BBC out of context, creating controversy over Leibovitz's request of the Queen. However, in the end, the shoot was a success, and Leibovitz was later invited to the palace in 2016 to take a portrait of the Queen with her grandchildren. So, over the span of 50 years, Leibovitz has gained some deserved recognition and accomplishments. She was the first woman to have a solo show at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. This is a photograph of her showcasing her Demi Moore portrait at that show. Her photographs belong to many collections, including the Art Institute of Chicago, the Museum of Modern Art, and LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. The Library of Congress has declared her a living legend, and she's received many numerous awards for her work. So in the examples that I've shown you, you can see the way she truly gets intimate with her subjects, making them feel comfortable to let loose and really capture the true nature of their being. Her photos are bold and moody and always very interesting. So thank you for watching my presentation of Annie Leibovitz.